The reason why I think a project like Trust Union is important is that it's translating trust into the digital realm. I'm Anne, and I got into the cryptocurrency and blockchain space because I used to be in startups and tech, and then I saw blockchain, cryptocurrency pop up a lot of times, and I thought it's something interesting that I should explore. And at first, the first exploration I made was how to bring more women into the space, because when I go to a lot of events, there's less women, a lot less women than men. But then slowly I came to the conclusion that actually what's needed in this space is education, and that's essential to mass adoption, so that's what I'm working on now. So I'm working with a very large company, one of the biggest blockchain and crypto companies in Thailand, to create an education pillar for them, bringing more of the blockchain education offline, make it in a language that people in Thailand can understand, Thai, and then also create courses for people who come through Bangkok, because that's also a very geocentric location. So I'm hoping that people come through Bangkok, they come to vacation, but they can drop by and they can have a course as well. I enjoyed our discussion. So when you started telling me about Trust Union, what came to mind was that my brother is a graphics artist, and he's been sharing with me that pretty soon it's going to be possible, or if it's not already happening, that when there's a video on YouTube, people make a video. It can be a video of a person doing a horrible thing, a crime or a sex tape or something. Then they can just put your face in the video. No one's going to be able to tell that it's not you, or maybe it might happen to some other celebrity. So previously, you know, there were problems when people would release tapes of celebrities, private content of celebrities online. But this is worse. It doesn't even have to be that anyone actually did this. All they need is to have the video, and then they can put the face in. And so I think that trust is a really under-discussed aspect of, for example, AR, VR, AI, and machine learning, neural networks, all of what's coming and all of things that people fear. They talk about teaching AI emotions and emotional intelligence. What they I've never heard anyone talk about trust. Now we're gonna bring trust and translate it into the tech space. In terms of blockchain, it's about creating transfer of value that's legitimate. When it comes to AI, machine learning, neural networks, AR, VR, all these new technologies that are going to come and take over our lives. And it's not gonna have to do with people running things. It's going to have to do with machines making decisions. And also a lot of virtual reality. Someone was sharing with me at this conference that in the next era, a lot of things are going to be monetized through the gaming industry, and that's going to create new revenue streams for people in underdeveloped countries. You'll have young people who are online gaming on a computer in their family's home instead of out farming, because that's a way that they can make more money more easily than farming. And that's a way that the money can just flow in across the border without having to encounter any red tape to families that need it. So with more and more virtualness in our lives, how do we distinguish about trust? And how do we know what is legitimate and not legitimate? And those lines are getting blurred. And that's why I think it's really important that projects like Trust Union are exploring how we can create more trust. The ethical elements, I don't even know what to call trust. It's something very abstract. It's not necessarily an emotion. We discuss about how trust is something that's needed just so we can, sit down on a chair. To sit down on a chair, you have to know that the chair is actually there and you're not just going to crash into the ground because the chair is actually material, and when you sit down on it, it's going to hold your weight. Well, for a lot of other things in society to happen properly, we also need the element of trust involved. So Trust Union is using technology to build trust back into the world and making something that was previously abstract, the constructs of trust between people who know each other, people in social circles, something abstract, and making it concrete and something tangible in a digital sense, along with all of the other digital things. And the reason why I think this is so important is that it's creating a balance, because the world is leaning more and more towards the digital, and we're having more and more elements of our lives digitized. So that means that all the elements need to be translated, not just internet of information, internet of value, but we also need to translate trust into the digital realm. And so that's why I appreciate the conversation that we had today. And I'm glad that people are working on creating these constructs and at the very least exploring it and giving value to it.